All right, that was cheating. That was a video. Let's go to some live stuff. We've got WAN scaler, right?
I love live.
This WAN scaler demo, I think, is going to blow them away. I've got a good feeling about it today.
I expect applause.
All right, okay, well, we'll see how we go. We've put, at the back of the room, we have 2 WAN scalers. You can probably just hear them running out there.
These guys
and we have a network simulation tool, so we've simulated a typical type of WAN that GoTravel may have. They've just put in a new branch office and they want to accelerate the traffic. What are our settings? What have we done?
Okay, so what we've got, if I can show you this graph here, there's a 1 meg link.
Okay,
so that's where our black line is.
Yep,
okay?
No worries.
So the other thing that we've got is an emulated 300 millisecond delay latency.
Okay.
There is also packet loss on there.
All right.
So this is like a long trip to the US.
Okay, long trip to the US. Could be, we could have set this at really anything, but this is a great demo to show these guys. We've got a file server at the other end, and we're going to copy some files backwards and forwards between Nick's laptop there. So this is on now, is it, Nick?
This is on.
Okay.
This is on.
So this is our first pass of copying this file from the file server at the other end through the WAN scalers. Let's just see how long that takes.
So as it starts off, we'll see Explorer telling us how long it's going to take. And this is the first time the WAN scalers have seen this file.
Okay, so explain to the guys what's going on in the graph there.
So what I'd like to address your eyes to is the blue going all the way up to the black line. And then what that means is that we're filling the whole pipe that's available with compressed file transfer.
Okay, so I mentioned that sometimes most of the time when you're paying for bandwidth, you're not actually able to use it all due to bad protocols. Now, the Citrix WAN scaler is correcting that just with that file copy, and it's using the full pipe. Now, we timed these earlier on, and that transaction then, how long did that take, that file copy?
That should be 33 seconds.
About 33 seconds, all right. 33 seconds for the first pass through the WAN scaler. Let's do the same again for second pass.
So it's a 3.7 megabyte file. We're going to
Okay.
copy it again. Well, that's a whole lot less than 33 seconds.
Okay, so that's using some of the really smart caching that we've got. It's not all about files. It's not all about file names. It's about packets and low-level data and patterns. So it's a very smart cache that the appliance will use, the WAN scaler will use. And you can see, how long did that take? Like 3 seconds or something like that. So you're pretty much getting the file at WAN speed on the local side.
See here, that same data didn't go across the WAN again.
Yep.
The blip that said, we've seen this before, here's a token.
Send it on. Send it on. Okay. Let's switch the WAN scalers off. Let's have a look at it without the WAN scalers on and see what the performance is like.
So everybody can see it's clearly disabled.
Okay. Yeah, I can tell that.
So let's do this again. So this is what happens in the real world without Citrix WAN scalers. Even just using the workstations becomes sluggish.
Okay.
Now, if we sit here, we'll take about a minute and a half to watch this go across.
Okay, so about a minute and a half. So that's just in this particular demo, and of course it changes depending on the conditions and things like that, like a 3 times improvement, I think it was, we calculated before. So you can see there, and one of the other things we don't show is browsing of files and folders and all that kind of thing. It's just really impressive how much it speeds those kind of things up. All right, that was Citrix WAN scaler. We're going to show you another very quick little video that we are cheating a little bit. We're going to show you a bit of NetScaler now. And what we have a NetScaler in front of a data center, and we're running an Oracle transaction here. So if you want to run that, Nick. First off, this is without the NetScaler in front of Oracle. Very simple search, and now it normally takes about 10.62 seconds, just off the top of my head. 10 points, there it is, 10.62 seconds. Okay, that's for a pretty simple Oracle transaction. What about if we pop the NetScaler in, do the same thing, 0.57 seconds. It was probably a little bit longer because it took a bit of time to switch on that stopwatch, but you can see a massive saving there in that Oracle transaction. This next test we're going to show you is simulating a load on a data center. We have a NetScaler in front of a data center. We're going to remove it and put it back in and have a look at the load on the data center. So the first graph you can see there at the front is our load generation tool. And on the right-hand side, you can see our CPU. This is perfmon looking at the CPU of our data center. As it goes higher, the users will have worse performance and, of course, have to usually put more servers in at that point.
So you can see 2,500 concurrent HTTP sessions.
You can see that the load is it's about halfway. But what if we put some SSL in? It's another 250 concurrent encrypted sessions. It's maxed it out. This is normally where you'd be putting in more servers, more bandwidth, all that kind of thing to try and solve the issues.
So if we put the netscaler in, look what happens to CPU utilization. It drops right down. That means you can use the same servers as you once had, but with the netscaler.
What about a SYN flood attack? Normally, you'd be maxing the CPU right out. Well, in the case of having the netscaler in the way, it still remains low. So it's protecting you against those types of SYN flood attacks. All right, well, I reckon we've shown Julie some solutions at GoTravel. Let's go back to GoTravel and see what else, what other issues they're having.